were you able to even run the company?
We did it just to be funny, just to troll everybody.
Are you still gonna be part of it one day?
It's kind of vague right now.
They took away your banking privileges.
People didn't really know what to do.
You made Guy Cisternino president of Blackstone before you left. That was prior to that?
That was like a joke. We did it just to be funny, just to troll everybody. You know, he was trying to help out. I didn't think that me leaving would affect the company as much as it did, but I think that just because I'm very like I have a very clear vision of what I want, right? So I don't hesitate on things. It's like you do this, no, yes, no. And without that, there was a lot like procrastination on what should be done and what shouldn't be done. And people didn't really know what to do. And the company struggled in that sense. But Guy tried hard. You know, people are like, oh, you know, are you mad at Guy? I'm like, no, man. Like they did what they could. You know, it's hard when a brand is like focused around one person for 10 years and then that person's gone and there isn't a clear, you know, if I could go back in time, I would have just asked my partner, Jared, like, hey, can you run this for me while I'm gone? Like he's got so many successful companies. Like, you know, I'm sure he would have done it, but I thought that, you know, let's just cruise and it'll be good.
How were you able to even run the company? Because they took away your banking privileges. How you even operate? Like, you know what I mean?
So what I did to save the company was I signed all my ownership over to Jared Wheat. So he's the owner of Blackstone Labs, right?
To this day.
He was not involved in the indictment. So basically, the government couldn't shut Blackstone down or do anything. And they were mad. They were mad that we did that. But Jared was like, listen, I'm an investor. I invested into this company. I run a clean operation. It's not my fault that him and Aaron were doing this stuff. I want to keep the company. So I was able, you know, people are like, oh, you're going to give up your shares. I'm like, if I don't give up my shares, they're trying to fine us $8 million and shut us down. So nobody's going to have a job. So once I got into prison, everybody that worked for the company is like family to me. So they would email me what's going on, but I wasn't in like just getting those emails. I got called to the lieutenant's office. They're like, it looks like you're trying to run your company. You're not a part of this. And I was like, no, they're just telling me what's going on. I'm not. So every email I had to say, I am not involved in this anymore, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm not a part of Blackstone Labs. Even now, I'm not allowed to be a part of Blackstone Labs.
Are you still going to be part of it one day? Or what is your role in the company right now?
God willing. I mean, so this was another thing that I was surprised about when I get home. So when you're on probation, you've got your standard conditions, but then you have what's called special conditions of your release. So when I was at the halfway house, I got a job working for my buddy's car shop. Just doing like car detailing, crap like that, right? But of course, I was talking to those guys because, like I said, they're family. Jared's like my brother, you know what I mean? So once I got to probation, my probation officer broke down my rules. He said, you cannot own or operate a business. And you cannot be involved with any of your co-conspirators from the case. You cannot work in dietary supplements. And I was like, whoa, really? And I was like, I didn't expect this. I was like, first of all, I have a business. I've had it for 11 years. I can't be a part of my own business. And he was basically like, no. So what we did was we got the attorneys together and filed a motion, you know, saying, hey, like this is all he's done his entire life. You know, it's basically a family business. His family works there, you know, can he be allowed to, because in my sentencing, the judge said I can never manufacture supplements again, but I'm permitted to work in marketing and sales. So basically we're like, can he just go back to Blackstone as a salesman or in marketing? And the judge denied it, said, no, Blackstone Labs is a co-conspirator, co-defendant in the case. And for the term of the probation, we cannot be around each other at all in any way. So, you know, my attorneys, I've been quiet this whole time because they didn't want to do anything that could screw it up. They're like, man, don't even wear Blackstone clothes. And I'm like, all my clothes are Blackstone clothes. Like I found a shirt today that didn't have Blackstone. That's all I've done for 10 years.
Right.
I thought we were going to win because everybody else from the case is back working. Singerman's back with Redcon.
Right.
James actually was working with Redcon at one point. He's doing his own thing in supplements. One guy, Joey, I think, is in manufacturing. Same thing with David. Like, I'm the only one that got those rules. But
you're gonna fight that? You're gonna keep fighting that?
I don't know what I can do about it. I'm going to talk to my probation officer, because this actually just happened this week. It was like a shock to me. So I have to figure out, if I can't work in, obviously I can't be a part of Blackstone. Can I do anything with supplements? It's kind of vague right now.
Right.
That I have to get some answers on. So, I'm going to get back on social media and do bodybuilding, because, that's what I love, and figure out what happens from there.
Right. How did the company survive in general? You're the face of it. Like, you were the face of it. You had obviously athletes that were involved, but you really was the, the boss that was also the media personality, right? How did the company even survive for the last 3-4 years?
Downsized a lot. There were some things that were done while I was gone that I wouldn't have done, but I know, they tried their best, without me. Actually, just when I got home, it seems like, just from me being home, from what they tell me, they've been performing a lot better. It just seems like there's a little bit more attention on the brand now, indirectly. But the actual, like, as far as revenue, the company dropped like over 50%. Downsized. There's half the employees that we had when I left. So it's a much smaller operation now. I have faith that in 3 years, when my probation is done, I can get back in there and make it big again.
I mean, look at the space right now. There's so many new players, right? If you look at even from 3 years, there's people making energy drinks now. There's a company like Raw that's dominating, right, with Chris Bumstead. I mean, there's so many new players in the game. Like, it's got to be tough to survive.
Yeah, when I got home, like, for instance, Gorilla Mind, I had never heard of them before. Alpha Lion, like, there's a lot of these new brands that are big that weren't even around really when I was, when I left.
Yeah, absolutely. So does it give you hope and for the future for Blackstone Labs? Do you feel like you can still find maybe not you directly, but the company can find a way to still be competitive?
I think so, because Blackstone Labs has some really, really great products. Like Glycolog was the first glucose disposal agent, and I still to this day, trying out all sorts of other ones, I still personally feel that one is the best. Now, there are other people that are doing things with super berberine, and super berberine has even more data behind it now. Blackstone was innovators in the sense that putting that stuff out before everybody else. So because of that, there's a loyal customer base that likes those products no matter what. If I can be involved in supplements in some way, there's other things that I want to do that I didn't get to do, that hopefully I will get to do. Other, longevity type products that I'm interested in that we didn't do over there yet. So, I know myself, like, I'm kind of relentless when it comes to going after my goals. So I'm going to position myself in a spot where I want to be. This is the space that I love. Like when this happened the other day, people were like, "Oh, well, you could go back to being a personal trainer or start a coaching business and this and that." Yeah, I could. There's a lot of things that I can do. But from 13 years old on, I loved supplements and bodybuilding. It's what I'm most passionate about. So I'd like to figure it out.
Did you read a lot of books?
It made me more and more depressed.
What was it like to finally get out?
I wanted to come home.
You weren't yourself anymore.
As long as I believe in myself, that's what matters the most.